Hello and welcome to the Formula Masters China Series. It is, of course, the leading junior single-seated championship across the entire Asian region. These are some of the best young drivers around. We're here in Shanghai for the second of 6 race stops across the year, and we'll have all the action from the 3 races this weekend coming up later in the show. We'll also talk to 2 of our current drivers who have already used this series as a springboard to other things. But first, though, let's get caught up with all the race action from the first weekend in Malaysia. Thunderstorms hit just prior to the start of the season's opening race in Sepang, and the wet weather caused havoc on the track as the drivers struggled to adjust. Both Muratomi brothers span out at various points, and local favourite Dan Woodruff was forced to retire with a technical issue. Estonia's Martin Rump kept his cool to take the first win of the year from Jake Parsons and Matt Swanepoel. The sun came out for race 2, and pole sitter Parsons maintained his lead into turn 1. Behind him, though, it was all action. Eurasia teammates Azuka Muratomi and Sean Hudspeth started down the grid, but climbed a combined 17 places in just 6 laps of racing. But Jake Parsons stayed out in front, winning from Martin Rump and Aiden Reed. There was drama at the start of race 3 as pole sitter Azuka Muratomi was clipped by Martin Rump going into the first turn, with Rump later penalised. Young Chinese driver Jeffrey Ye saw his hopes dented with this spin as the thrills and spills continued. There was plenty of overtaking action too, with South African driver Matt Swanepoel in the New Arrows team passing Australian Nick Rowe, just one of many examples. But it was Jake Parsons who took his second win of the year, giving him a 16-point lead in the driver standings, ahead of Martin Rump in second and Aiden Reed in third. One of the unique elements about the Formula Masters China Series is the fact that these drivers are able to use it as a launch pad for their careers by going on to other senior championships in the region. 2 of the drivers currently in the series, Yuan Bo and Jake Parsons, have already got connections with Lamborghini and Audi respectively. Let's go and take a look.
Racing Formula Masters this year, it's associated strongly with Volkswagen as an engine supplier and a strong supporter. So through the year we knew that links with them were going to pop up and some opportunities could come too. So got the call up early in the week before the event from Audi, and it was really exciting to hear that. I think it was awesome to feel like, you know, we're still moving forwards, and Masters has given us a nice springboard into racing, you know, people who have been in DTM, which as a driver is a series you really look at as being a top one. So it was always like striving to be racing the pros, which was pretty cool. And by the end of it, like, we could see all the improvements, and we were matching them in a lot of spots, and there were some areas where we were quicker too. I think it's kind of increased the hunger. And is a good motivation to keep going.
For me, my racing goal is to be a really good professional GT driver. I come from the Star Racing Academy. It's a Chinese young program to get better, get a professionalist. Then they helped me to find this chance from Lamborghini. These 3 years, I just drive the Formula Master Series race. I think I learned a lot. Last week I tested Lamborghini GT car. I feel, yeah, I can drive. I think it's better.
Our poster boy is Pu Junjin, who raced with us in Formula Masters for the last 2 years. He is racing with us now in European Le Mans in LMP2, and that's a very high-level championship, and he's doing very well. So it demonstrates that you can learn in Formula Masters, you learn how to drive a car properly, you learn to work with engineers, and you can then carry that on to bigger and greater championships.
Looking forwards with the manufacturers associated to Volkswagen, you've got the Super Trofeo with the Lamborghini, Audi LMS Cup like I was part of, and then the Porsche Carrera Cup obviously. So it's like so many options are in front of you. If you do the right things, you've got a big window and a big foot in the door to go forwards into those.
So what it demonstrates is that the level of this championship is fantastic, and any driver starting in Formula Master China Series, they can progress and go on to be a professional GT, LMP or even Formula 1 driver.
It's great to see some of the drivers already doing so well elsewhere. Now, the Formula Masters China Series races on some of the top tracks across the Asian region. Let's take a closer look at the home of the F1 Chinese Grand Prix through the eyes of young South African driver Matt Swanepoel.
This, of course, is the most important thing when it comes to getting us around the racetrack. However, it is equally as important for us drivers to know the ins and outs of the circuit. Come on, let me take you for a ride around this magnificent Shanghai Formula 1 track. Let's go. Okay, we are going around a lap of Shanghai. We're on the main straight now, so this is where we will be starting the race, and we're just passing the pit lane as well, the pit lane exit. We're coming into turn 1 now, which is actually quite a difficult corner because as you can see, you cannot see the end of the corner because it is so long. So you actually have to it's sort of a guessing game in a way at the start to get the right momentum through the corner because you don't want to slow it down too early, otherwise you're going to lose time. Here we are actually heading a bit uphill, although you cannot see it on the camera. And we're going into a chicane now, and using the curb will get you a bit of time. Okay, here's another gradient change in the track. Now we're going to be heading a bit downhill into a double left-hander where we'll shift down 1 gear in order to get the momentum going for the straight ahead. Sizable straight ahead, then we got quite a hard braking zone. Very critical to get your line right here because this will line you up for the next few corners, which are key to you getting a good exit onto your main straight, which is 1.2 kilometers long, and so you can get a lot of time there. We've just passed, the track is quite angled, quite banked there, so you get a lot more grip than what you expect. And we're about to reach our top speed, and we've probably reached it about now. And we will stay at this top speed until the braking zone at the very end. So there's a lot of downforce on the car at the moment, and you want to utilize that downforce in the braking zone because it gives you so much more grip. Okay, we're on the last small straight before the last corner on the circuit. Very difficult corner because it's very easy to exceed the track limits here. So you want to be on the limit, but not over the limit, so you're over the track limits. Otherwise you'll get a penalty. And we're onto the start-finish straight, another great place for overtaking, and this is where we'll finish the race.
Well, Matt Swanepoel is lined up alongside me here. He starts in 5th position on the grid. Alongside him on the 3rd row is Estonian driver Martin Rump in 6th. But he was actually the quickest in qualifying, but he had a 5-place grid penalty because of the contact that he was responsible for at the beginning of the 3rd race in Malaysia. So he starts in 6th. At the top of the grid, we have an all-Meritus GP front row of Jake Parsons and Dan Woodruff, followed by Eurasia teammates Aidan Reed and Nick Rowe. Then in 7th, Chinese driver Yuenbo alongside Japanese driver Tomoki Takahashi. Further down, Zhang Shangguan, Sean Husbeth, Jeffrey Eyre, Kim Jong-tae, Hua Miao, Takashi Hata. New driver Stephen Hong goes in 15th position with Jiang Desheng alongside him. And the lights go green in Shanghai. They're away. Parsons and Woodruff on the front row both look to get away cleanly. Matt Swanepoel in the black car diving down the inside, but Rump is going to take him for 5th. There he goes through, up 1 already for the Estonian. So Parsons and Woodruff at the front. Then comes Aidan Reed. Then Nick Rowe being pushed very hard by his teammate Martin Rump, looking to move up another place. So Parsons and Woodruff stay 1-2 for Meritus. Aidan Reed has moved down, and it's now Rump in 3rd ahead of Rowe. Rump making quick work through this field, those two battling hard. They won't want to be giving up position or taking each other out. They are teammates after all. Aidan Reed runs wide. Can he recover? He can for now, but that's Yuenbo coming hard down behind him. Tomoki Takahashi pushing Yuenbo hard, the young super licensed driver in the white car behind Yuenbo in front. These two continuing their battle behind the top 4. So Parsons, Woodruff, Rump and Rowe, Yuenbo and Takahashi. Yuenbo darting down the inside, he's going to take him for 5th there. Tomoki Takahashi forced wide as Yuenbo gets position, but Aidan Reed slipping past both of them on the inside. This is the battle for 5th. Yuenbo in the red car currently has the edge. Now Martin Rump makes his move down the inside of Dan Woodruff up into 2nd. Great progress from the Estonian. Sean Hudspeth taking a look down the inside of Yuenbo. He's going to go past him. Matt Swanepoel in the black car swinging all over. Oh, he's lost it there. He's going to crunch into Zhang Shangguan. Big crash there. Well, no surprise that the safety car is out. Let's hope they can quickly clear that and we can get back to racing. Now is the green light. It's go time for Martin Rump. Just a few laps to see if he can take the lead from Jake Parsons. Final few laps here. Here goes Martin Rump. He's going to make his move on Jake Parsons. Is it enough? He's got past him. Great drive starting from 6th place, remember, now up into the lead. Oh, and Jake Parsons, he's done too much trying to compensate there. Dan Woodruff is going to pass him for 2nd. Well, Parsons recovered. He's right behind Woodruff now. Martin Rump out in front with 1 lap to go. in second on the left-hand side. That is Dan Woodruff, but Jake Parsons, his teammate, going to try round the outside. Nick Rowe lurking just behind them, looking to see if either will make a mistake. And there's Aidan Reid passing Rowe on the inside. Sensational stuff in the closing moments of this race. Parsons desperate to try and retake Woodruff, but Rump will win this. Dan Woodruff in second, Jake Parsons in third.
The team has done a really good job. We have a really good car here, and the setup is just great. So it's amazing to drive, and honestly, I felt good driving in it in the beginning and at the end as well. So all is good, I think.
Jake, from a neutral's point of view, it was a fantastic race, particularly towards the end, but obviously disappointment for you.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shame, I guess, with the safety car, but you can't control those things there. So I was happy with the consistency that we had through the race. And yeah, it looks like we got a bit of work, finding a little bit more speed towards the end coming to the next run.
So, confirmation of the top three, Rump, Woodruff and Parsons. Good result for Star Racing Academy drivers Yuenbo and Jeffrey Yeh, both getting into the top 10. And 3 drivers unable to finish race 4.
Hi, I'm Aidan Reid. Vote for me as your favourite driver, and I promise that I'll be driving at 110% every time.
Well, as evidenced by that big incident towards the end of the first race of the weekend, always lots of action here in the Formula Masters China Series with these young drivers desperate to make a name for themselves. Now, joining me here is Matthias Heuting, the series manager. When an incident like that happens, we have the stewards, the marshals, the race director, the clerk of the course, hundreds of people involved. What's the collective goal of everyone behind the scenes?
The main objective is basically to ensure the safety of the drivers and obviously all the personnel on the track. And obviously we try and clear the track as soon as possible so we can resume racing, because especially with sprint races like this, you only have 11 laps, and like the race today, only 7 laps. So as you could see yesterday, we had an incident, safety car came out and it came back in the next lap, and we had 3 more laps of some good racing. So very good.
Great stuff. Thanks, Matthias. Well, let's take a look at the grid for race 2 here today. The positions, of course, decided on the fastest lap times from the first race of the weekend. So Martin Rump alongside me here is in pole position because his fastest lap was nearly half a second quicker than the rest of the field. Tremendous speed shown by the young Estonian there. Jake Parsons, who is just about to appear any moment here alongside me on the front row of the grid. He's had consistency without quite reaching that top speed. So he'll be looking perhaps to try and search for those extra fractions of a second in the second sector where he struggled so far. Then moving back, we have in position number 3, the young Australian Nick Rowe. Great improvement that he's shown already this season alongside Dan Woodruff on the second row of the grid. Tomoko Takahashi, an impressive results for the super licensed driver. He starts in 5th alongside Aidan Reid. Sean Hudspeth and Yuenbo on the 4th row. Then further back, Jun Shengguan, Kim Jong-tae, Jeffrey Yeh, Hua Miao. Takashi Hatta starts in 13th alongside Matt Swanepoel, who was penalised 6 positions on the grid for what was termed an avoidable collision in that incident yesterday. And Zheng Desheng and Stephen Hong on the back row today. Well, the story here is that Jake Parsons has a problem and is still stuck in the pits. So there's an empty spot in position 2 at the front left of the grid. Rump gets away cleanly in first. Nick Rowe in third, swings over to the inside. Rump going very, very wide, but he's going to maintain his lead into that first position. So Rump and Rowe from Woodruff and Reid. Sean Hudspeth taking a directive, unconventional line through the chicane. Lap 1 in the books. Martin Rump extending his lead. Dan Woodruff right behind Nick Rowe in second. Rowe equal to the challenge as Woodruff tries everything behind him. Jeffrey Yeh, the Star Racing Academy driver. Nice move there to get past Sean Hudspeth on the inside. Now Hudspeth coming back at Jeffrey Yeh. Hudspeth moves in front again. Jeffrey Yeh having another look. He's going through. No, he isn't. Did they touch? Great battle between these cars in the middle of the pack. Martin Rump still leads. Then a gap to Nick Rowe, Dan Woodruff, Aidan Reid, Tomoki Takahashi. Yuenbo number 8 there, rounding out the top 6. Heavy braking from Kim Jong-tae under pressure from Zheng Shangguan. Martin Rump looking in very good shape here in race 5. Aidan Reid desperately looking for a way past number 16 Dan Woodruff to force his way onto the podium. Reid, just 16 years of age, already has 2 podium finishes so far this year from Sepang. There is Reid, currently in 4th position with time running out, darting past the inside of Woodruff. Is it enough? But Woodruff holds his line through the chicane. No way through for Reid. Martin Rump will win race 5. Nick Rowe coming round in 2nd place, and Dan Woodruff rounding out the top 3.
I'm happy with the pace today. It's definitely improving. We get more kilometers and we get more confident. So yeah, that was a pretty good race for us, both for Nick and me, and we enjoy 1-2.
What was your thoughts when you saw that Jake wasn't lining up at the start?
I thought, you beauty, I can go straight to the inside, but it's a shame he wasn't out there. It would have been good to race with him. But I'll take 2nd any day of the week. That's my first podium, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Back-to-back wins in Shanghai for Martin Rump of Estonia. The first podium of the season for Nick Rowe, and all 3 Star Racing Academy drivers in the top 9. Jake Parsons did manage to join the field halfway through the race, but unable to finish.
Hi guys, my name's Nick Rowe. Vote for me as your favourite driver, as I'm from down under and can go quicker than the Kangaroos.
Well, drama here on the grid just moments before the start of the 3rd and final race of the weekend. That is because we've had rain earlier in the day. It's pretty much stopped right now. Very, very light drizzle. So the teams, even though it's been declared a wet race, they have the decision whether to go with the wet tyres or the slicks. They've been changing back and forth. The teams have been looking over at each other, deciding what the other teams are doing. It's tremendously interesting as they make their final decisions as to what's going on. No one wants to make a different decision. It could be very crucial in terms of the strategy. So just a quick look. At the moment, it looks like everyone's going to go with the wet tyres, but I can tell you it could change again in the next couple of minutes. So we'll wait to see, but they've been changing sometimes 2 or 3 times. Quickly looking at the grid, we've got Martin Rump in pole position, Jake Parsons in 2nd, then Dan Woodruff and Zheng Shangguan. Matt Swanepoel and Nick Rowe on the 3rd row of the grid, ahead of Aidan Reid and Yuenbo. Then Jeffrey Eyre, Tomoko Takahashi, Sean Hudspeth, Kim Jong-tae, Hua Miao, Stephen Hong and Zhang Desheng. Takahashi had to unable to line up, so 15 drivers for this race. The lights are out and the field is away. You can see the water on the track and the spray down part of the straight there, but the first turn looking pretty dry, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out as the race progresses. Rump leads early in race 6 from Parsons and Woodruff has gone into the back of his teammate Parsons, part of the front braking right off. Here's Parsons now looking for a quick way past Martin Rump. Little wobble by Rump there, his mistake taking him too wide, opening the door, and Parsons goes through. That could be hugely significant in the championship. Here's a replay from Zheng Shangguan's car showing the damage sustained to Woodruff's car at the start. Parsons, Rump and Reid are the current top 3. Dan Woodruff still limping around in 4th after his accident at the start, but Yuenbo passes him and Matt Swanepoel too. A new nose cone now for Woodruff, and that surely ends his chances of getting in the points. Yuenbo swinging down the inside of Aidan Reid, going up into 3rd position. He started from 8th on the grid. Reid trying to come right back at Yuenbo, and he's going to pass him. So these two swapping positions. Martin Rump almost causing an accident there as he came across. And Matt Swanepoel in the black car goes past both Reid and Yuenbo. But here comes Reid. He's not giving up easily. This is the battle for 3rd in front of you. Aidan Reid, Matt Swanepoel, Yuenbo in the red, and the spray just adding to the drama here. Matt Swanepoel has the edge at the moment. Yuenbo coming through the inside of Reid. Jake Parsons at the front, staying out of trouble for the moment. Now Sean Hudspeth defending against a hard-charging Nick Rowe, the Australian coming around the outside. He grew up racing in the dirt, so he's used to some slippery conditions. Very smooth move from Nick Rowe to go past Sean Hudspeth. Jake Parsons on the right hand of your screen taking a more traditional line. Some of the other cars opting to go for wetter parts of the track. They do, of course, have the wet tyres, so that could be strategic to try and preserve the conditions of the tyres. Zheng Shangguan alongside a Star Racing Academy teammate, Jeffrey A. goes through. Oh, but he goes sideways. Zheng Shangguan takes back the position. Jeffrey A. stranded on track for the moment. Jake Parsons comes around to win race 6 from Martin Rump and Yuen Bo in 3rd.
But you started on 8th. Fantastic drive to get up onto the podium and the quickest lap time as well. What was the difference for you today?
Today, because of the wet condition, I'm really exciting. I mean, when I drive, fighting with some guys that overtook, I think I did quite good job. It's really enjoy. Yeah, fine.
Good stuff. Well done. Thank you.
Jake Parsons bouncing back fantastically from the disappointment he had earlier in the day to take race 6 from Martin Rump and Star Racing Academy driver Yuen Bo. Kwame out, Stephen Hong and Daniel Woodruff, the last 3 drivers to record a finish. So Rump leads from just a single point over Jake Parsons. Aidan Reed in 52, well behind in 3rd. Meritus GP lead the team classification with 137 points from Cebu Pacific Air by KCMG and Eurasia Motorsport.
Hi, I'm Daniel Woodruff, and you should vote for me, because if you don't, I will find where you live and I will sing Katy Perry songs all night.
Well, the Formula Masters China Series is all about these young drivers learning their craft, and there have been plenty of impressive moments so far here in Shanghai. Before we go, let's take a quick look back at the best overtaking move of the weekend in our Masters Pass.
Today's Masters Pass comes from Australian Nick Rowe. As he says, he's quick as a kangaroo here to get past Singaporean Sean Hudspeth.
Well, great to see some new faces on the podium after 3 more action-packed races here in Shanghai. Next up, we're all going to Taiwan at the start of July, so we'll see you again soon. Goodbye.